You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Xavier, the Herons are back. Welcome to another episode of the Batter Herons podcast. I am your host, Chris Duran, and alongside me, uh, amazingly, we have Xavier Lavos. What is going on, Xavier?
We're gonna talk a little football, little Inter Miami, and some pizza with a fork and knife. So we got a lot of stuff going on tonight.
Yeah, no, that's of course we're going to talk a little bit about that. I mean, the football could take a back seat to that.
No,
Hopefully,
football,
my
football,
internet
but
doesn't.
football, but football in English.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully my internet doesn't blow up because apparently I'm having really bad internet connection. So, guys, bear with us, bear with me. Patience is a virtue. We're trying to get there, and but we got a fun packed show today, guys. Xavier, I know that we talked a little bit about the game in the Spanish show, but I want to kind of get your thoughts on the game, as we go along. I wanted to bring something up before we start talking. I saw Facundo Farias. He's actually coming back and practicing with the team. You saw that?
Yeah, he's practicing. He's back to full training with the squad, so that's a good thing. I sent out a tweet in regards to that, saying that he'll probably be Gomez's replacement when he goes to England. It's just they're very different players. He brings something different to the team.
No, absolutely. And I already see people trying to help me out with my internet here. Justin Blair just laughing at us. I mean, obviously, it's Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's in the house with Justin Blair, but that 199's going straight to my internet collection fund.
This is dial-up. We're still in the dial-up.
Yeah, I'm still in dial-up. I had to dial up to the AT&T. I don't know what it is, the bandwidth. Baby Erica, much appreciated. Saying, I heard a rumor that Ronaldo is going to Real Madrid before FIFA Club World Cup. So I think Neymar is going to sign to Inter Miami on 2025. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, we did talk a little bit about this in the Spanish show yesterday, that apparently he ended up signing for like a $26 million home up in North Florida, Miami, whatever you want to call it.
Bar Harbor.
Yeah, over in Bar Harbor. And I mean, look, it's looking like things are going to happen. I mean, we're just going to have to, I guess, wait and see.
Yeah, the whole Cristiano one is a little more difficult, I think, to Real Madrid. He'd have to take a massive pay cut, and he'd have to not be so into himself, right? He wouldn't have to be the star anymore over there. So I don't see how he would fit in over there. I don't see that happening, but anything's possible. That would be great. It's just more drama and stuff going on in the world of football. Neymar to here would be awesome. And be able to meet them at the World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. That would be great.
Oh my goodness, that would be phenomenal. I mean, you know that Real Madrid will play Inter Miami, I think, first game. No,
that would be fantastic. They'll set something up. Who knows?
All right. Well, let's get to the guest of honor here tonight. We're going to break down a little bit of Miami versus Atlanta United. We're going to be playing our game in Atlanta this weekend, and it's going to be fun times because we're actually going to be going to play on turfy turf, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Atlanta are looking forward to it. 60,000 plus people are going to be attending, I imagine. So that's going to be fun times. And I know it's got to be sounding bad. I apologize in advance. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest of the night, Tommy One Time, here to join us. Tommy, what is going on, my friend?
I just actually sent some money to your OnlyFans so that you can upgrade your internet. It's when you load your internet up, does it make that old school modem noise from like the like early 90s?
Smoke came out of the machine and everything.
Your voice is like off from your face, and I don't know if it's the gummies that are doing it or it's just your internet. I can't figure it out.
That usually happens with Chris, regardless of the internet coverage.
A little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Where's Danny?
I don't know. Danny's taking the day off. I didn't think that he believed in days off, but he's taking the day off today.
He
always is avoiding me.
That's what it said. I'm looking at the fans' comments here. I guess this is not. This is a recurring thing. Oh,
two out of 3 times, I think. Embarrassing. But here we are.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. It is pretty embarrassing. And yeah, Justin Blair's also chiming into my internet. This is going to be awful, guys. Day one RBNY fan over here. I mean, this is awful for the people, for Columbus Crew. For those of you who don't know, Rebels just beat Columbus Crew 1-0. That's just embarrassing.
nah, why? It happens.
It's your main competition. You
I
should
mean,
be you should be
yeah.
happy about this.
I thought everybody's picking Miami and Columbus for final, and then LA, right? I said that I'd see. Oh, you're doing that? Well, I said I'd expect surprise. I'd expect a surprise somewhere along the way, and this is probably one of them right there.
Maybe.
Well,
I mean,
Hopefully, it'd be cool if they take them out. That's great. But I don't expect those 4 teams to be there at the end. I think there's going to be a surprise somewhere along the way. Hopefully, it's not Miami, but I think there will be a surprise somewhere along the way.
but the Rebels are annoying, though. I'm really not interested in seeing the Rebels either. Like, the Rebels are a pretty annoying team.
They're tough. They're tough.
yeah.
It's another team that plays Miami super tough for some reason. Like they'll get beat by any other team, and then they come and play Miami, and they play fantastic, play amazing.
Someone's got. Is Chris frozen or is he just staring?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like sometimes he just goes off on a tangent. Then I muted myself there. Yeah, sometimes he freezes, and I think he's definitely frozen because it's taking too long for him to think. Sometimes he just goes off and tries to think what he's going to say, and that's what's happening now. But we can keep going.
We can run the show now.
Absolutely, we really don't.
Do you want to be? Are you a Chris or a Danny though?
In in regards to what?
I don't know. I mean, we could go whatever way you want, man.
I'm gonna mix it both. I like have fun like Chris does, and Danny is very detailed and likes his. So I'm a little bit of both. But like let's get it right into that action in regards to that New York beating Columbus. I think it's a good thing. I think it's great that one of the favorites loses, and it's even better that it wasn't Miami. It adds a little spice to it. No, it's gonna make that second game super interesting, and then all these games I expect for a couple of upsets. I don't think all the favorites are gonna make it to the end. So I think at least hopefully it's Columbus. I think that'll ease up a little bit for Miami, but I don't think that the LAs are both gonna make it, and maybe Columbus won't either. Let's see.
I think when you have Columbus in there, and I know they're the number 2 seed, right, and they're the scariest ones. I think that the main team that could scare Miami to get to the finals here. But as someone that probably Atlanta not advancing, right? Not advancing in, you want to see the former champs either get taken out by the number 1 seed, and I would like to see them because I think you can't get the best of 3 of this, but you can get a best of 1 in Miami. Columbus having to travel. I think that's MLS Cup in my opinion. Whoever wins that game is going to win. No offense to the LAs, I just don't see the 2 LA teams being able to handle either Columbus or Miami. So I would like to see these 2 get to the finals. You'd like to see that. I would not like to see Columbus and LAFC again. I will tell you that. I enjoy it, but also we had the Cavs and Warriors how many years in a row? And you eventually just get kind of sick of it, and you want to see a new matchup here. I would love to see Miami and the LA Galaxy. In my opinion, I think that would be a really fun game.
That would be a great game. Now, before I jump into Columbus to me is I'm not going to say scary because Inter Miami's not scared of any team, but they always control possession. The only team that I see that takes the ball away from Inter Miami. Sometimes Miami plays that way, Tata does that, and then pressure's high because Columbus has trouble coming out of the back. And in each game, Miami has been able to score early by a turnover or a miscue by the defense in Columbus. So sometimes I think he allows that, but Columbus moves the ball around well, and they usually control possession. So I think they're dangerous against Miami. Now, LA, I saw the last game. LA to me is a younger, maybe not as experienced, but a younger Miami in the making because they like to move the ball around well too, and they have Ricky Puig, who's a playmaker. Oh, surprise! What happened
How
to Chris?
Yo,
Chris, what happened?
I guess I can't take the night off. I don't know what happened to Chris's
You're
internet.
the backup plan. You came in because the 199 AOL
Yeah,
internet didn't work.
I'll jump on. The Yankee game just started getting good, but it's all good. What's going on, guys?
No, we're just making the show live. We're getting
I
into
know.
the mix, talking about
Chris just
Columbus.
ran away.
What happened to him? He just like froze up, like he does like when he's playing basketball. I guess like he just freezes up or what?
I guess. So, where were you guys? I don't want to jump randomly to throw off the show. Where were you guys?
Well, I just got to ask you a quick question, Danny.
Yes.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing
Trademark
good.
that. Trademark that.
I was laying down watching the Yankee game. I thought we're chilling, and then Chris hit me up, said that he's having some internet issues.
I texted you that he had AOL internet dial-up there.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's all good. So let's get the show
But
back on track.
Danny, look at Danny with the Yankees and Real Madrid, like all the money teams. He's the money guy. And then the
Hey,
look at that.
And then Inter Miami. I go
It's
where the
all-
money is.
You should see his Dallas Cowboys tramp stamp on his back.
Oh, he
I
has a
wish.
picture of that.
No,
He
you know
has
what?
a
The
picture of that.
Cowboys suck also. This is the team I suffer with right here. This is the team I suffer with. But I beat you in Madden with them. So, all right.
And I also beat you, man.
Yeah, that never happened. So, getting back on track. Were you guys talking about how Brad Guzan is not going to play like that a second time? Is that
No,
we
what
haven't
but
gone
we
to.
we
We've
can
been
start
talking
with
about Columbus.
Oh,
Columbus.
okay, yeah.
They
Yeah,
lost
started
today,
there.
so we started with that.
Well, I think that anybody that thought that Cucho was the MVP, I feel like they should rescind their vote for Cucho after today because he disappeared again.
Oh my God! Really?
Look, I'm a Cucho
One
fan.
game?
It's not just one
He's
game.
rough like that. He's rough like that.
What happened the game where Messi ended up winning for Miami against Columbus, winning the Supporters Shield? Cucho disappeared and he missed the PK. Look, I'm a Cucho fan. I love Cucho, but I'm sorry, he's not the MVP, and he showed it today.
Who's the MVP?
Messi, hands down.
What do you think about that, Tom? Are you one of those guys that thinks that he hasn't played enough games, that he shouldn't be considered MVP, or where are you? Like, you where's your thoughts on that?
He
I've
lives in
gone back and
Ohio.
forth.
He lives
No,
in
I've
Ohio.
got back
What do you
and forth.
think?
No, I'm not a huge Columbus
He
fan.
lives in
whatever.
Ohio and he's in
But you
Atlanta.
live in
now?
Ohio. Yep.
Yeah,
Whoa, wow, that's interesting.
I live in Cleveland. There's no team more closer than 2 hours to me. I can pick who I want.
So you,
Don't judge
but
me.
it's no, at all. It's interesting because the Columbus people and the Cincinnati people are they're pretty rabid about their their fandom and their hate for Inter Miami, and you're in the middle there, so we don't know where you're at because you're there in Ohio, but you go for Atlanta. Are you going to drop a little more and then skip over Orlando and then become a Miami fan sometime soon, or what? What's going on?
No, I don't like bath salts, so I can't get into Miami. But I would say Danny's helped change my mind a little bit on some of it. I've gone through it. Like I think Cucho is I know what you're saying, Danny, but when that team needs a goal in some of these big games, especially last year, and then also in the League's Cup final, that's the man that comes through.
Yeah,
right.
He came through for them. He came through for them.
But this is a regular season MVP, and that the League's
He's had a
Cup
good
is something
season.
different, and he has. And then last year is a different thing. Like this season, although statistically he's good, and if they don't give it to Messi, I think it should go to Cucho. But when you look at Cucho and Messi head to head, personally,
you can't hold anybody to the Messi standard. You can see it in Ballon d'Or. The one this one
yesterday, yeah,
that he wins, and then like you compare to what Messi and what Cristiano Ronaldo got us used to. That's done. Those days are over. You can't compare or hold anybody to the standard.
And it'll never get up there again.
Oh, I don't know about that, but for right now, it's not going to be there.
With two players dominating like that.
Well, no, because the
At
only
the
one I
same
think like Yamin right now, but
and
I can't think.
But Mbappe fell off.
He's on the way down. Yeah,
he fell off. Anyway, but that's a story for a different day. So back to the Atlanta, Miami. Xavier.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Brad Guzan is going to take some more compound V? Do you think he could have this performance again.
I
because
think he should be like Maradona was in the World Cup. You know that the nurse came in and grabbed his hand and took him to straight to doping, and he was taken out of the cup. I think they need to grab Brad and check him out because he was flying like he was like super Guzan. He was incredible. He was. That has to be one of the highlights, like of the best of his career, and he's had a very, very good career. I mean, he's been a good player for Team USA. He's been a good professional, and this was just like at a different level, and that's part of he took it to another level. So I expect him to be solid. I just don't expect him to make those miracle saves like he did. He did 2 or 3 saves that were just at a different.
He had Messi 1-on-1, and I thought Messi for sure would go wide. Yeah, I thought he would go wide on him and then just knock it in.
I thought Messi like missed it or like he hit it wrong. No,
he got a toe on it.
Right, but I thought Guzan like got lucky that he didn't see it. It just hit him. No, he actually kind of made a move with his leg and hit it out. I was like, damn. Okay, so he was on fire. If he wasn't on fire, minimum four go in.
And
I don't know about minimum.
For the real Aqueno,
for sure.
Guzan did play for the U.S. men's national team, and that's when I started to dislike him. That's when I started to dislike him.
Why?
Everybody dislikes everybody because they've been on the U.S. national team at some point.
I don't dislike Pulisic.
No,
there's
man,
a lot of people that do.
For real? Like a lot of people like in Ohio or what?
I mean, just in general, like again, the internet, like especially like Twitter and all that's a cesspool of things. But like,
what
for a while, it was like this guy's overrated.
Oh well, that's gonna be what any American player, they're gonna have that. And now he's proven it in Italy. And the only thing that I can criticize right now is his leadership, like as far as the demeanor, as the man on the team. He's at that level right now where he's got to have that respect in AC Milan, and his demeanor is too soft for that.
You're talking about the PKs when he
not just that
players take it.
That's one of the main things, but I also want him to be, like walk a little bit more bravado. You're in Italy, dude. You're in Italy, man. This is a lot of macho stuff, and you got to be a little bit. But he's doing it with the goals and in the games, like so that counts for something.
Word.
Daddy, don't tell me your internet.
What are you thinking as far as this?
What is you guys in your thing? Your volume went weird.
No, they're making us Miami people look bad. They're thinking we're doing. You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. You know what's actually happening? They're stealing the signal. They're not paying for it, so they're stealing. He's parked in a car outside somebody's house, stealing the Wi-Fi, and that's why we're having issues. That background is not real.
My Wi-Fi is fine. My Wi-Fi is fine. No, what do you think about Guzan? You think any chance that he has anything like this again? And is that your only hope? Because Brooks Lennon is out, right? Isn't he?
Well, so let's get to that real quick, if you don't mind. Rewind for a minute. So you go into the. I know we talked about this a little bit after I was drinking. After the last game, I hopped on. But you went into this game, and this team I've been saying for a while has lacked a lot of depth for a while. And Ronald Hernandez is out sick. All right. So, man, I think this is just StreamYard having issues. Like, we all keep freezing.
Who froze?
I don't know. I look like I was freezing. Okay.
Nah, nobody froze.
Oh, I was. You guys were all moving slow. This is weird. Okay. Back to the thing. So Ronald Hernandez is out sick. That's something that was not expected. We found that out about 10 minutes before the game started. So that was, you're lacking depth. And you said, okay, well, long as Amador and Brooks Lennon don't get hurt, you're okay. Brooks Lennon gets hurt. So you had to bring a Luis Abram in to replace him.
Which did well.
Yeah, he did pretty good. Then you lose Stian Gregerson. And Stian Gregerson was obviously something that is one of the best defenders in MLS. Like he's big, he could score goals. He's
your top guy back there.
He's our top defender, and he scored a goal against Montreal. Absolute awesome header. And now he's out. Now I will say one of my co-hosts on Scarves and Spikes made a comment saying I put that part because of what happened, the short turnaround, right? The Saturday to Tuesday to Friday, because it's a strain. I think it was an ACL strain. So that's a concern there. Now you go into this game without those two, potentially without those two. I don't see Brooks Lennon with the shoulder coming
I don't think
back.
so either. I don't think so either.
It's
Now he
too
kicked me
short.
out.
Oh,
Thanks for kicking me out, dude. What kind of
Look,
show?
Tommy's the guest on here. You knew that this was going to be a disaster.
What kind of show? Are we
no,
running?
I'm not the disaster for once. It's all your internet.
Everybody's saying that call Elon Musk and get Starlink going. So we need help.
Go ahead, Tommy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going. So
Yeah,
Brooks
you're
Lennon,
talking
you'd expect him back?
No.
So no Brooks Lennon. Stian Gregerson. I did bring it up. Danny, I know you're not going to like to hear this, but I do think that the short turnaround is absolutely something that has hurt this team.
For sure.
100%. And unfortunately, that is something that happens when you have these short turnarounds. You get some of these strains. I still think they should have played on any other day, just one other day. I said this before the games even started. I said it on Battered MLS before the schedule even came out for the playoffs. So you can pull the tape. I think that you just need to make sure that the teams that are on short rest, you give them enough time to rest. And all I was saying was Saturday. I said, you have so many days, Danny. You had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today's the last day of the first round on a Tuesday. You could put them on any other day.
On Saturday, there was only one West Coast game. There was no East Coast game on Saturday because originally the playoffs were starting on the 26th. This 25th thing came out of nowhere. Now, why do you think they did that?
Two reasons.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you say it.
TikTok is one.
Okay.
They want, and apparently a ton of people watched it.
Of course.
I watched Brad Guzan on Vine. If you're old enough to remember what Vine is, congratulations, you get the joke. I'm happy for you. But I watched the Guzan on that. But then apparently they were showing this game in Apple stores. If I didn't do the watch long, I was gonna go apparently every Apple store. Now there's probably more for the West Coast, but apparently all the Apple stores had the game on their stores.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and then also the
Times Square
thing,
But that's stupid. They could have played it in Times Square on Saturday night. It doesn't matter. The reason I think they did it is because Messi's first ever playoff game, big time. We don't want to go up against college football. We want nothing going on sports-wise. I mean, the World Series, I guess game one technically started. Yeah. But let's go up against the World Series, baseball, which is a dying sport, rather than college football. This is one of the reasons as to why I don't think that change of calendar is happening, which people are starting to talk about. I know your boy Tommy MLS Moves was saying that he wanted to have anybody on there to have that conversation. I said I'd go on. He didn't reply back, but I'd love to.
He talked to me about it.
Oh, he didn't want to talk.
The three of us.
Because I don't think that that's happening. I can't see why that would be a good idea, and I would love to have that. And if I don't have that with him, we're gonna eventually have a show. An episode on the Battered MLS fans because I don't see how that's beneficial. And I see how everybody's talking about how it compares to other leagues across the world. I'll say it, and I've been saying it on this show a million times. Don Garber and the MLS aren't competing with the rest of the world. They're competing with the other leagues in this country. So stop talking about the other leagues in the world. That's why we have a playoff system, because they don't care about the rest of the world. They're thinking American, and they're thinking, let's compete against the other leagues here in the United States. So... All right, off topic. Sorry.
No problem.
Xavier,
but I was going to say that was the Gregerson injury here. So you're going into this game significantly down. You're possibly down your starting right back, your right star center back, right, and then
that whole Jordi Alba side is done.
I'm worried.
Jordi Alba has time to eat. Yeah, you should be.
I'm worried about the game.
Everything's stacked. Like it seems from everything you're saying, everything's been stacked. You know, the travel, the games, now the injuries, sick. If they were to by a miracle pull the game off, because I think it will still be a miracle, even though it's in front of 70,000 at home. I don't think all those 70,000. I don't think even all those 70,000 are going to be cheering for Atlanta. I think there's going to be a big Messi fan base.
You think so?
You know, I think so. Look, they travel well.
Yeah, one thing that I appreciate from Atlanta, and I used to, I was never an Atlanta fan, but I used to enjoy watching them.
The Falcons,
when Joseph was around. that the stadium gets rocking, and they had a huge following, and I didn't understand. I didn't expect that from Atlanta.
There was no Messi then, though.
Yeah, I know, but still, they have a good fan base.
Of
Like for example,
course, yeah, they
when I
fill
went
that
to the league's
stadium.
when I went to the League's Cup final in Nashville, I
Mhm.
expected there to be a good percentage of Messi. It was all Nashville. Like I'd say it was like 10 to 15%, maybe Miami, Messi, but for the most part, like now they have a stupid chant, right? When they go, what's the chant? It's I forget what the hell the chant, but it sounds like they're saying Messi. I forgot what the chant is, but it sounded like Messi. So on TV, it might have sounded like there was a big Messi fan base, but they were chanting for their team. NSC, that's what it was. NSC. And then and the louder and the faster they said it, it sounded like Messi. So I started joining in. But it and that's what I expect from Atlanta also. I do think that there's gonna be Messi fans, but I think there's gonna be
No, definitely there's going to be majority Atlanta. Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that.
But they gave him a good cheer. Like, I mean, people went to when he didn't go to the first game. The first game in Atlanta last year, he was not there, right? He was eating pizza, that very plain pizza that he had. And then he played in this last one here, and I mean, you saw everybody bring their cameras out. And you guys are used to this, right? I mean, you watch all the away games. You see everybody pulling those cameras out when he comes on, and yeah, I mean, people cheered for him, and that's what it is. And you're going to get some probably casuals. It's a big city, right? And they see Messi, and I think the seats are like $40 in the top section there, so they made it affordable. So shout out to Atlanta because they definitely increased those prices a lot last year. They opened up the top section, and I think the seats were $100 in that game. So for a playoff game, they absolutely want to load the stadium up because one of the things, Danny, you talk about Atlanta United and people that got interested in them. It was because they were always the national game of the week, right? They were on FS1 or they were on Fox on a Sunday or on ESPN on a Sunday night. And it was because they were showing that stadium and how packed it was, right? And it's just like it's the biggest, some of the biggest attendance. Like you look at the attendance records, I think they have like 6 of the top 8. Aren't
you still leading in attendance this season, or am I off on that?
No, it can't be this season. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it's a big stadium, but I don't. They didn't have that many full stadium games this year. But I mean, I think it's good for the league if Atlanta's good, and we've had this conversation before. Oh man,
there we go.
He kicks Xavier out for himself.
I just wanted to chime in. I think that the leading team with attendance is New England, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just be the stat guy down here floating here, just so everybody knows that I'm still alive.
Oh, we should have a fact checker like they do right now in all the election stuff. He could just be our fact checker.
Well,
I'll do that with my incredible internet.
Here we go. Just so you can take a peek behind the curtain, as they say. We made this setup purposely because our intention was always to have a stat guy. We wanted to have a stat guy, and we made that little screen there on the bottom because our hope was to one day have a stat guy that could just be talking about something and they'll fact check it. Right.
Keep hoping. Let's work on the internet first, and then we'll go to the stat guy.
Listen, with my internet, I'll pull up all the stats you want. I rebooted the computer, and I'm cycling it as we speak. So just let me know what you need, guys. I'm here.
Oh, I love it. Oh, look at that, little Chris.
Chris, I need you to fact check the attendance. I believe I just looked it up and it said Atlanta was number 1. But if the stat guy could confirm that for me, I would appreciate it. But I believe it said Atlanta is number 1 this season also. Now, it's a huge stadium. Even when it looks empty, it probably has more people than most stadiums.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's... Well, remember, they also go by I think, seats sold.
Okay. So even if they don't go, it still counts as a part of the attendance.
Yeah, I mean, you see that across a lot of
everywhere
there. You see empty stadiums, and you're like, what do you mean there's 30,000 people in that stadium?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like right now, I said this last week with you. I mean, everything that we have right now is just bonus time, right? Just bonus games. You didn't expect, you had a 10% chance on decision day, you make it. Then you go to Montreal and you knock Joseph Martinez out of the playoffs. That was cool. Now you're going into the biggest possible. You're in the center of the soccer world right now because you're playing Messi in Miami, which is pretty damn cool. And you scared the shit out of them. You scared the shit out of Miami fans. It got real quiet there at sometimes on TV. It was like when they scored that goal, at least listening to it, it seemed like the stadium got a little bit quiet. And I mean, I think a lot of us expected them to roll them too. You go up 1-0 a couple of minutes into the match, you're like, this is what happens here. A 2-1 scoreline is absolutely shocking to me, no matter how you look at it, because you were well primed to just beat the crap out of us, and we survived, and now we go to this. But again, like, there's a lot of teams that have snuck into the playoffs with a DP or two, right? But the good teams have all their DPs, and right now Atlanta's just not that team. They've got one legit DP. They threw a TAM guy in there just for accounting purposes. They're just right now. They sold their two biggest players, their best homegrown, and now they're happy to be here, right? I think they'd like to get a win. I said it before all these injuries happened. I think that they were going to take game 2, just for the fact that they're rolling on vibes here, and they've been doing some pretty crazy things the past couple games. But we'll see.
Xavier, were you at all worried? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Atlanta United is at number 1 at 46,831, and then Charlotte behind them, and then the Sounders in 3rd place.
Well, and that's not surprising that all 3 of those are NFL stadiums. So even when they don't look full, I mean, you still fill half the stadium, and that's 40,000 people. Xavier, were you at all worried when Sava scored that goal? I wasn't, and I don't think Xavier was. I don't think anybody in Miami was, but you tell me, Xavier.
At that point when they scored, I said, okay, it'll be 3-1. But worried, no. I expected Inter Miami to win. I expected them to win a little more comfortably than they did. I didn't expect Guzan's fantastic game. I was worried about Sava. If you remember when we talked in the Spanish show, I said I would love for a 2-0 Inter. I didn't even predict 4 or 5. I said a 2-0 win, because I want the defense to show me that they can stop this guy, that they can hold them to the clean sheet, and that didn't happen. So that bothers me a little bit. That worries me a little bit, but never did I think that they weren't going to be in control, especially at home. Now in this away game, the circumstances are what happened under the circumstances are tough.
I just see at the bottom of the screen going, Chris has a stat. Xavier, we got to stop you real quick because I want to hear what this stupid stat is.
Go ahead. Oh, that's what we should call them.
So
Chris's stupid stat of the day.
So according to Google, the number of licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop done by Purdue University students is 252 licks.
All right. I just muted his mic. Go ahead, Xavier.
No, that was amazing. I mean, I'm fascinated now with the stupid stat of the day. I can't wait for the next one.
And go ahead.
No, and I didn't expect it to be so complicated. And I expect for this Saturday, given all the circumstances, that they have a little more rest. But I think Inter Miami has to put it away, and I think it's going to be, I'm not going to say easier, but I think it's going to be a bigger, goal difference.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that Brooks Lennon, I feel like he is. Is there anybody more important to the team other than maybe Guzan after last week? I think those are the 2 biggest pieces. And
the center back that went down. What, Grefferson? What is his last name?
Gregerson, yeah.
Gregerson. The center back, super important.
The whole right side is done. Jordi Alba's going to eat over there. Guzan can't have that. At least I don't think he can have that repeat performance. I just think that expect at least an assist from Jordi Alba. Like you said, I think it'll be a lot more comfortable. And Toniak said Sounders aren't in an NFL stadium. They actually do play in the NFL stadium. They play in the Seattle Seahawks stadium. So the top 3 stadiums for attendance are all NFL stadiums. All right. So I guess we could just go ahead and go to predictions unless Chris pops up with another random stat. Xavier, what is your prediction for Saturday's game?
Wow. I don't expect Messi to play like he played. I thought he was a little bit off. Messi's Messi. I thought he was a little bit off with his touch. I thought he was a little bit off with his passing. It wasn't his best game. And so I don't expect that to happen again this Saturday. I think he gets on board at least once, maybe twice. Maybe our guy Suarez does. So I'm thinking a 3-1.
You expect
3-1.
Suarez to play, or I'm sorry, not play. Start.
That was what I was gonna get into. You know that they say that Messi doesn't want to play on turf. That Suarez is not going to play on turf. I think that they're going to play because given what we said, that if they eliminate them, they have 2-3 weeks rest. He's not playing for the national team in Uruguay anytime soon after everything that's happened. So he's going to be rested. And I don't think he's going to want to stay on the bench. These guys.
Do you expect the same 11?
Let's see what
this is the 11 from last time.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Suarez, Wegan, Redondo, Bright, Alba. Yeah, maybe if they do a shift and rotation, then they go 4-3-3. Then you might have Bright out. But these are the guys. These are the guys that he trusts. He said in the press conference in the last game that he needed to find a way to put Bright in because he needs to find his best 11 on the pitch. So I think they'll go the same way. I think they'll go the same way.
A part of me wants to say that Suarez will come off the bench just simply because, and I know everybody's like, and people are saying that I talk too much about the turf, and maybe I do, but with Suarez specifically, with his knee history, I might bring off the bench if it were up to me, obviously.
And Messi start him?
Yeah, Messi had to start. Messi, I don't know. I mean, he does a
lot.
What
was the last game that they played on turf? They brought them both in the second half. Was that Charlotte?
Atlanta.
It was the Atlanta game. So they brought them both in the second half. And Miami had control of the match.
They just gave up that late goal.
Up to the end. Yeah, they missed a few, and then they gave up the goal. But that's the thing with Atlanta, right? They play super tough. They don't stop. They keep going. They keep moving forward, and they stay within reach. So I want this game not to stay within reach.
Right.
I would like that.
Right. Now, I guess I don't have a sound for it, but I guess Chris has another stupid stat. Let's see.
So So according to Google, 6% of Americans believe that they could beat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat.
6%? That's impossible. That can't be. There's 350 million Americans. So 6% of that. No, there's not that many stupid people. Are there?
Yeah, that's plenty of stupid people.
I'm one of those.
There you go.
Yeah. Pay-per-view. I'd love to see that. We can run a pay-per-view, but then we gotta put an insurance on you because you're.
Chris, have you ever watched that movie by Leonardo DiCaprio where he fights the bear? I forgot what's the name of that movie.
Titanic?
No.
Bear.
It's a one word. It's relevant. I don't remember. Yes, but it was.
I know what movie you're talking about. Yes.
The relevant. What is it?
Yeah, listen. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter. I know that for sure. I can be able to beat a bear.
But like a teddy bear. What is it called?
The Revenant.
I knew it was something like you could maybe a teddy bear. Perhaps is that what you're talking about? Like somebody dressed as a bear.
Chris thinks that he can average double-digit points in the NBA.
I can absolutely get over 10 points. Over 10 points in an NBA game. No way.
Double-digit turnovers for sure.
Chris, and you know what's the funny thing? And just so everybody that's watching this realizes, Chris really believes this shit. Like Chris is an idiot. Like he really believes the stuff that he says. He really believes.
They'll make a statue with Chris. Would it be worse than Dwayne Wade's? Like how would Chris's
Lord Almighty?
No, that Dwayne Wade, that's a rough statue. Let me tell you. My favorite one was then they had him at the statue's face up like in the Power Rangers little. I don't know what that guy was called.
Yeah.
But
the Megazord.
I guess I don't know.
Oh no, Zordon. I saw that one. That was great.
It fit.
10 points. That's 5 baskets for Chris.
I know.
Instead of 10 points, he'll have his ass blocked 10 times.
Three flop, they get free throws.
3-pointers and an easy layup. Are you kidding me? That's easy. 1 quarter.
Layup.
Easy layup. Where are you going to get an easy layup? This Chris thinks he can run a fast break with NBA players running behind him.
He's going to be like Zion, breathe and get hurt.
Chris is wild. All right. So my prediction, I think that Inter Miami wins 3-1. I'll give you guys one. I think 3-1. I think Saba somehow he seems to be a magnet for the back of the net against Miami. So I'll say 3-1, and I'll say that you guys score the first one. So I
That
think that you
stadium
guys.
would go crazy.
I know, and I think
that'd be dangerous.
and I think it'll be fun to watch you guys going crazy and then have the life sucked out of you. But 3-1,
the whole season. It's been the whole season.
But next year with all that money and it's
and
not
Chris
about
Henderson.
all that money. But do you know how to spend? No, don't say that. Is Chris
It's
going on there?
happening.
You
Yeah,
think
it's
so?
happening. Yeah.
It's a done deal. And so who's staying here? Just because they moved him from the office? Just because they brought in a couple other executives that could do his job? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, there's some backdoor talk going on.
Oh man, that's why
we gave Chris Henderson the entire roof of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He could just go up there and hang out all night.
Damn.
He's got a whole roof.
Go ahead, Tommy. Would you like to finish off this episode with your prediction? This horrible episode of Battered Heroes.
First off, this is the first one that
I.
I've been on that it was not my fault.
No,
That was a disaster. It had nothing to do with me this time.
I mean, just random people popping in, popping out, random horrible stats by Chris.
I don't have anything to do with any of these things. It sounds like I'm the responsible one.
You did a great job, to be honned.
No,
I don't know what I'm
Thank you,
doing.
Xavier.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I like Xavier.
They invited me over and they made a shit show. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
It's disgusting.
I just lost 100 followers and I only had 50.
I apologize to everybody listening and watching. I really do. I promise you.
Don't apologize.
We'll do better. We'll do better.
That's all we can do. Right? That's all we can do. That's all we can.
And
do.
everybody started the show saying that you didn't come on to avoid me.
No, for those of you that don't know, I try my best to take Tuesdays off because I podcast a lot. So I try to take Sundays and Tuesdays off from podcasting, and then I podcast basically every other day. So that's why on Tuesdays I haven't been on. And just luckily we don't have Tommy coming on for the Battered MLS fans. Chris will be hosting that tonight at 10 o'clock. If you haven't already, make sure that you're on Battered MLS Fans Podcast. Make sure that you go on there to check that out. We have we have Tyler from the Scarves and Spikes, which is we haven't had a bad episode with him yet. So things are going well with him. We got somebody from the Red Bulls coming on. I'm sure they're going to be hyped after beating Columbus. We got somebody from NYCFC talking about their loss to Cincy. So it should be a fun show, and Chris will be running it. And we'll see how that goes. I'll be in the chat. Tommy,
I guess I'll be on standby for you guys because you'll probably need me at some point.
I gotta get a new background. According to who was it? Somebody said, "Oh, Florida man." And then look at Tank. Tank is asking me if I have followers. I don't know if he's serious or not. I'm pretty sure I have more than Tank. That's for sure.
Tank, I think he has a lot of the Inter Miami backups following him as far as the goalkeepers go. And then we got a Super Slam, and then
a YouTube subscription.
Alejandro, shout out to you. Appreciate you because Battered Herons. I'm ending my. I apologize. I appreciate the Super Slam though. All right, so finally,
Super Slam.
Tommy, go ahead. What is your prediction for Saturday?
I think this game's going to be all madness. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense in here at all. I think it's going to be 4-2 Miami.
Okay, that's a fun game.
Stancy.
And you, Chris has a stat. All right, Chris.
That he's making the show.
Well, let me first let me tell you what my prediction is going to be. My prediction is going to be 3-1. Same prediction I had for last game. No, Miami. We're walking away with the dub.
Last game you said 4-0, I think.
I probably said 4-1. I expected that we get a goal scored on us, but
okay.
I just wanted to let you guys know that the letter W is the only letter in the alphabet that has 3 syllables. Now everybody's going to start doing the alphabet.
Wow. Everybody at home is going. I think that's the best stupid stat of the day right now. Like
that was the best one he had.
He saved the show. Chris, you have saved the show.
He was the reason it was bad. Don't try to give Chris any credit here. We ran the show, Xavier, me and you.
No, yes, there's no doubt.
Danny came in late to
I'm very
bathe in our glory.
That you guys somehow ended up coming on here.
We pulled it through, to be honest.
We were having serious moments talking about Red Bulls in Columbus, and then you showed up and got us all distracted.
Hey, I need to get a background, so I'm going to get a background because the audience is they're asking for the new background, and I'm gonna have to.
What's wrong with your background?
I have one last question for you
all
guys.
the time.
Yeah, they're tired of it. They want them to change it up. One last question for you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. So I know Chris has to start inviting the MLS podcast guest. If you had to choose one or the other for the rest of your life, and you can't have the other, no.
Okay.
Are you gonna ask my question? Are you gonna ask the question I asked you yesterday?
Would you choose?
Drop it.
I might say it incorrectly, so maybe you should ask it then.
All right.
If you had to choose one, would you? And you can only have one or the other.
Okay.
All right. You had to either you had to give up warm food or cold drinks.
Warm food or cold drinks, for sure. I'll give up warm food because there's a lot of cold dishes that you can eat. But the warm drinks, unless I'm living in a cold area or something, because I don't like warm beer, but some people drink it, right?
Wait, did you say warm food or cold drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to
Give one up forever.
Give one. Which one? Would
Okay,
you
but
give
he
up?
was talking about warm drinks. I got confused. Oh, because he was saying what he would have to drink then.
Yeah.
Oh no. I if I couldn't go without the coldest chocolate milk at night, that's the best time when I make chocolate milk. If you don't chug the chocolate milk, if you drink just 15 seconds out of the fridge chocolate milk, it doesn't taste as good as just chugging it right down, right? So
I agree with that.
I could drink, I could eat, I could eat cold cuts for the rest of my life. My steaks are rare anyways, most of the time, so that's still kind of cold in a way. I'll keep cold drinks.
You want to hear this weirdo? Danny, explain yourself. Danny, explain yourself to the people.
I don't like hot food. So I'm okay not eating hot food, and I don't like cold drinks. I drink my water room temperature.
What is hot food? We're not talking about spicy, right?
No,
we're talking about
the temperature.
So you don't like soup?
Food, warm food.
No. And even if I drink soup, I don't need it to be hot. I'm okay with room temperature, everything. Whether it be food or drinks, I'm okay with room temperature. Now, if you tell me that I have to eat all my food cold, it's a different story. But if I can do room temperature, I'll stick to room temperature for everything. I don't care about cold drinks or hot food.
This has been a very weird episode. So many weird things.
Oh, 269. That's it. It's absolutely a disaster. So let's see. Tommy has.
We're on 269?
Now I understand.
So you got 98. 145 you weren't on. Last week, what was the other one? Was it 265? That was another disaster that we randomly did. We had a horrible show.
You know what it is?
And then Tommy came on. No, Tommy came on and did a random watch along with us afterwards, like a penalty shootout, completely off.
It was like 264, I think.
It was, and now
245 right there. Florida man put 245.
Let me tell you something. And then Tommy has been a part of all of them. So there's definitely a common variable here.
That watch along was fun.
It was.
You guys are messing. You guys are messing up my brand. To be honest,
you have a brand?
I'm making one. This was a last minute invitation. It seems like it's an ambush or a setup. You guys set me up. Now I'm on a terrible episode on 269.
Look, I wasn't supposed to be on here either. All right, and then we'll close it out with one last Chris stat. Go ahead, Chris. Give us your last stupid stat.
Apparently, 9 people on this earth, which are terrible, skip breakfast daily.
9 people? That's more than that.
I started.
I'm sorry, 9%. 9%.
Oh, okay. 9%.
Oh,
said 9.
I was like, just 9?
No, that's amazing. I mean, if we should invite those 9 to the next episode. That's an amazing stat. You know, this has to be a fixture of every show from now on. I cannot be on a show. So now you're gonna have to do the Spanish show. How do we say it? What, stupid takes? How are we gonna say it?
How do you say stupid stat? I don't know.
Stupido.
Estadísticas estúpidas de Chris.
And we're gonna put them in that little screen on the bottom too.
No, it looks amazing. Yeah. Professional. I mean,
I wouldn't have put the word playoffs there if I knew he was gonna be down there. All right, any final thoughts, Xavier?
Well, we gotta whoop that Atlanta behind. I don't want a third game. I want them to take care of business the right way, and have some rest and keep moving. I mean, we got to keep on moving.
Yep. Instead said it's the Real Madrid shirt. Yes, I'll never wear this one again.
It might have been.
It might have been.
Terrible week. Terrible lose. They lose.
Yeah.
They lose Ballon d'Or. Like
Yeah.
everything's been terrible for.
You can
Real
blame
Madrid.
it on the shirt. You can blame it on the shirt.
But I'm a Real Madrid guy too. So I'm not giving up on them. It's okay. I saw Barcelona guys super happy, like if they won the World Cup or they won the La Liga or something. So I don't know what's going on.
Any final words there, Tommy?
I hope this isn't it for us. I'll come back next week.
We might get unplugged.
God, if you come back next week, I don't know what we're gonna do. Could we build off? I thought 98 was gonna be it. I didn't think it was possible to do worse than 98, but I think we've somehow done it.
This is so.
You're gonna have to give me those numbers so I can go in and
tame.
check them out. I'm gonna check them out.
It's funny because in our Discord we randomly have just people randomly just watching episode 98, it's like just because they want to see why it was bad. And now
I love when people look it up.
This is
The comment section in them are great.
This reminds me of us, like if it was a Seinfeld episode of like sports casting and stuff. It's like it's really weird stuff going around, things happening.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster. And by the way, I don't think that the season's over for Real Madrid either, Xavier.
Oh, not at all.
I will tell you,
so much. They made such a big deal out of that game. I'm like, is that your season? It was weird for me because a team like Barcelona is stacked, great. They played amazing a lot, but like everybody's celebrating it. It's this huge thing, making fun of. It's like it's just one game.
Yeah, but I will tell you that I did expect them to struggle. You can't go with playing with no striker, a false nine. You have Bellingham playing the 10.
There's no break in the midfield.
And then you randomly decide to bring Mbappe for absolutely no reason outside of it's Mbappe. And then, all right, we're the champs. Now figure it out all over again. Like I knew they were going to struggle, and it's okay. No, this isn't a video.
I'm gonna search for a background because they keep giving me suggestions. Somebody put a Miami background. Does that mean like a pan con bistec with un cafecito or something in the background?
Oh, you gotta get La Ventanita behind you.
Oh, like if I'm about to order some. Okay,
Yep.
Could be.
Yeah,
I mean, Tommy, it was great meeting you under these terrible circumstances. Hopefully,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, what? It can only get better from here, right? Can only get better from here.
That's what I've been told. I don't know.
No, we thought that, but we were proved wrong.
You've maintained the same terrible standard throughout.
Yeah.
Well, at least
thank you.
You don't eat your pizza with a fork and knife, at least, right?
Never do.
No, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into that because
chicken wings.
It's 9:56.
If he eats pizza like that, it's chicken wings. So it's time to go. Gentlemen, thank you for inviting me for this mess of a show. Oh Lord.
Oh my God, he's putting it over the top. There we go. Now, here in the chat, for those of you right here, this is the link to the MLS Battered MLS fans. Chris is already on there with the guest. He hasn't started the show yet, but I know he is already in the backstage. So go ahead and click over there because we're about to wrap that up here and watch whatever disaster Chris has going on over there because he half watches the game. So we'll see how that goes. Tommy, thank you for another horrible episode. I don't know. I don't think we could do this without you. I don't think we could have a bad episode without you.
He's so good at being so bad, I guess.
He is. I don't know how he does it.
He's so bad, it's so good.
My wife asks the same question all the time. But she leaves home happy.
You know what? And you know what, Alejandro? My wife's going to say the same thing because I told her, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to hang out Tuesday night. And here I am producing one of the worst episodes we've ever made. So thank you.
I already said hi.
And thank you, Chris's internet. As always, if you are listening on audio, I apologize for the horrible show. But please leave us 5 stars in the comments anyway. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe. And for those of you guys in the chat, as always, thank you for hanging out with us. That's so awful. I know. So awful. We do appreciate you hanging out with us, even though it was horrible. You hung out with us anyway for over an hour, almost an hour. And make sure you switch over to the Battered MLS Fans podcast. They're going to be talking about Eastern Conference. A lot of people are going to be pooping all over the Columbus Crew. So I'm excited to jump in that chat and start talking shit also. I hate Ohio. You included. All right.
You love me. I'm your favorite person.
We'll be on there in 5 minutes, and then we'll be back tomorrow for Battered here on En Español at 9 o'clock and Battered MLS Fans for the West Coast at 10 o'clock talking about Western Conference playoffs. So until the next one.
Muy bien.
Background. Just not into Miami, but I'm going to get
this dude in his backgrounds, man.
No,
Until
the
the next
guy
one.
keeps telling me, "Hey, get an Inter Miami background." No. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get the
Mr.
background.
Krabs right there. Throw the comment down before you hit end. Put that
Tommy is the
comment in
best
there.
guest Battered Harris has had.
Oh,
Thank you, Mr.
So
Krabs.
the best
We have a love-hate
he's
relationship.
had today,
Cheers.
or what?
Oh,
no,
all days.
All
He
right.
follows me on all my
No,
podcasts. He'll start yelling at
I
me.
think you did amazing under terrible.
Mr. Krabs.
I've never been on a show.
Go ahead and check out the battered MLS fans. You'll see Tyler is much better. Scarves and
Or
spikes.
Scarves and Spike. No, I'm the funny one. You go.
Yeah.
You go watch Tyler.
All right. You guys have a good one, and until the next one. I said it backwards. All right.